Hey, I'm back with a few project updates. So last time when I was talking about my Gurdy, I explained this zoetrope idea that I kind of came up with on the spot. So I finished my sketch for how I think I want that to look, and I've been feeling kind of under the weather this week, so I don't really feel like cutting out cardboard and stuff to like test it. So I'm doing what to me is kind of the lazy way, which will be I'm going to use some of these chunky charcoal sticks, probably white or ochre, to coat the back of a drawing because I don't have any good transfer paper. I have some graphite transfer paper, but it's terrible and I don't think it'll show up against this stain that's pretty dark. And hopefully the charcoal I'll be able to like rub it off if I have to change it or whatever, but it'll show up enough that I can test the animation of the zoetrope. But I'm going to coat the back of the drawing and then trace over it onto the actual wheel, and then I'm going to spin it to see if it does what I want it to do. And then I should be able to go ahead with like finishing it out with paint pens or something like that. I haven't fully figured out my design for the neck or whatever yet, so that's still forthcoming. And then the other thing is I was able to get my moth out of the relaxing basin that I made for it and start pinning it. I think I'm going to call her Nobody to go alongside Homer because they're both polyphemus moths, so you know, cyclops humor, I guess. And then my beetle is still in the relaxing chamber, but it was pretty damaged. I think maybe the tub it was in the freezer got dropped. I can show you, he's kind of a mess. And I don't think he's getting moldy, but I do think the rehydration is making him a little dusky in a way that like I would flip him over, but I don't have my tweezers handy. But yeah, you can see the like legs and antennas got snapped off, so I have gluing to do. So, and he's on his back, he's just given up, obviously. But so that I might have to give up on that one. I mean, it was like bonus gift specimen, but I kind of hate to do that. So we'll see, but it's still not fully like movable after all that time, and I still have to like figure out how I would want to pin it. So we'll see, maybe more updates on that later. But yeah, I'll do another one once I get the animation zoetrope type thing done, let you know how that went. All right. It also just occurred to me that I should probably swatch some of my paint pens against the stain for detailing before I do the transfer of the eye image, so I know what I'm doing. I figure I'm gonna do it just as an outline, probably not full color, but I was hoping that these guys would be working. Unfortunately, they're both dried out, and I tried resurrecting the tips with acetone, and it didn't actually work. So if I want to go that route, I'm gonna have to buy new ones, but for now, here's kind of what I was looking at. I kind of think I might use this one. It's one of my favorites. You can sort of tell what it looks like actually, although it kind of looks white here, but it's a liquid chrome marker by Molotow, and that's one of my favorite paint pens for like every application ever. It's just so shiny and they're a delight to work with. Interestingly, on this wood, it's not giving off the mirror finish that it usually does. I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's a rough surface, but because it's kind of a thick paint, I've seen it build to a mirror surface instead of sinking in. So I'm kind of surprised. But the neat part is it's almost like it's almost like white, but with a pewter feel to it, which I like. Also, surprisingly, my two metallic blues are pretty good. These are some of the oil paint markers that I got from the art supply box that I opened in a previous video. Not a lot of these are totally winning me over, although surprisingly that one's kind of a standout. It's a nice accent to the color that already exists. And yeah, so anyway, I'm missing a few of my favorite like small detail paint pens as well, which is kind of concerning. I worry I might have left them at one of the places I was staying before I found this place, which means I'm not getting it back. So I guess I just need to order more Uniposcas, but it was specifically a wine color that I think was like a special edition, so I might not be able to find it again, which would suck. But looking all of this over and not feeling incredibly inspired, although the green is kind of growing on me, I'm kind of wondering what kind of effects my chalk markers that I use over here on this guy, particularly the vintage colors, how those might look. So I might do a second swatch type dealy, but yeah, good job thinking ahead, Jen. So possibly part 2 forthcoming of the swatches. Yeah. All right, real quick, here's how some of my chalk markers look. It's funny that's actually showing up a little bit more vivid through my camera. Like that looks like a neon yellow, but it's actually a green. And with these, you have to do like 2 coats for them to be this vivid, or this opaque rather. But the colors are pretty neat, so that's something worth considering. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what media you can use over a water-based wood stain and then cover with a polyurethane, so I might do some research into that in case, like, I don't know, colored pencils or something like that would work. I don't think I have any paint colors that are like way more exciting than my paint pen selection, which these were the favorites. But it's worth checking out, so that might be another update later as I get more into designing the neck and everything. Alright, so I discovered that an animation on a disc is not called a zoetrope. That's the animation inside the cylinder. It's actually called a Phenakistoscope, I believe. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it's actually an even earlier form of animation. And anyway, this is gonna make the project kind of interesting because I didn't realize that it needed like slits in it for your brain to be able to see it, but supposedly it should be viewable through like smartphone camera. Also, you can probably hear Missy in the background complaining. But anyway, this gives me a good chance to also test out the camera mount on my ring light, and in case I want to film tattooing or something. I mean, I'm a little washed out, but I have it turned up all the way because high intensity lighting apparently makes the animation look better. So I guess what this means for the project is might not be able to see it while it's functioning, but I can still take video of it. And it's also cool because it's like which part of the animation is it going to land on when I stop playing, etc., etc. Like I said, it's kind of a thing for me. It's symbolic and it's a cool concept, even if I can't make it like really obvious to anybody else. But this would go a lot better if I had a record player or a CD player handy. But I'm doing it with my hand and a paint pen, so please excuse the jankiness. But this is just a test to make sure I did the animation correctly. Or if not correctly, in a way that I enjoy. Let's try it up here. One more. All right, I'll see how that turned out. Bye. So after reviewing the footage, I got to admit it looks a little bit frantic, but I think part of that has to do with the wobble. And if it's being played at a steady speed, it should look pretty cool. Slash, like, you know, if it needs to go slower or faster, I can adjust my playing speed, I guess. But I think I am going to go with it as it is. If it's a rapid blank instead of a sultry wink, that's still okay with me. I am kind of surprised that I don't feel like I have to redo it or make major adjustments. I kind of expected it to like not work at all. Like I said, it's not ideal, but I think like if that's what I can do, wobbling my way through it with spinning it by hand and it's perched on the back of a pen because I don't have anything better. And I mean, I use like a CD to stabilize it, but it's not quite as big as the disc because I just hate cutting cardboard out, guys. I really hate it. It's probably from all the years that I did like window display design with recycled cardboard and stuff. I'm just like, no, don't make me cut a circle out of it. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, that's the most recent updates on the project, and I'll let you know if there's more. All right. Bye for now.